Hello class, this lecture is all about tunnel modes. So tunnels are is a very important topic, and the reason why I stress is the next set of lectures, that is from lecture 6 onwards when we are dealing with AD2. The tunnels would be used a lot, and in general, apart from the lectures also, like in a lot of applications, this would be there, like mostly like 70 to 80% of times you will be using different kind of like tunnel modes. So I'm going to give you an example of the different modes and how we use them in coding. So tunnels are used to pass the data from for loops uh, or while loops. So if you want to collect the data out, send the data outside of the loop, we use the tunnels. Like, for example, I'm using the for loop. Stop the for loop here and we'll allow it to run it for say 5 times. I saw like a lot of people have in their assignments, when they had to speak about tunnel modes, they were using case structure. You don't use case structure. There's nothing like tunnel modes in that case. It's just like tunnels is used to send data into the loop or outside of the loop. So yeah, it's not used in the case structure. Okay. Now let's say, okay, I'm going to have like, okay, I want the iteration number to be displayed, for example, okay? The number of times that this is running, let's say we have, let's say there's some code running here, okay? The random number generator. So it's going to generate a random value in each iteration, okay? So I want in the end that to be able to see numeric indicator. So this is for that random number. Okay, let's say it's the last okay, and I want to move it here. And similarly, I'm going to have another numeric indicator. This will show me the iteration number, okay? Now let's suppose I give you a question in exam saying, okay, generate a random number like in 5 iterations and display the iteration number also simultaneously. So this is how you're gonna do it. So you have like 2 indicators, okay? I'm just gonna connect it here. I'm gonna connect this here. Okay, you see I'm getting error here. Let me just maximize this. Click on the errors. Okay, these cannot be wired together because their data types do not match. Okay, further it says that the type of source is 1D array and the type of sink is double. Okay, so so we have to just right click here and see, you can see tunnel mode here, right? Just select last value, okay? Tunnel mode, last value. You'll come to know why it was showing that error, okay? So now let's run this. Okay. See, you get a random number, the value in the fourth iteration. I mean, because we are tracking the number I here. So it starts with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The number of iterations will be 5, but the last iteration number will be 4 because it starts with 0. And this is the value in our last iteration, okay? In our fifth iteration. So let's do another thing. Now, what if now the second question that I might give in the, like on one of the questions I can give in the exam is, okay, I want you to display the array of all the values, you need to create an array of the values generated in each iteration. Let's say in the first iteration it generated a value 0.4, in the second is 0.6, the other iteration 0.8. So I want it to create an array, not just showing me the last value. So for in that case, we are just gonna go to the front panel. I want to have an array of all those values. So just go to, I'm just gonna go create an array. Go to data container, select array. I'm going to draw an array shell. Okay, array of random numbers. Okay, now we are going to have it like we have to drop an indicator or a control in this. So we are going to drop an indicator because we want something that can show the output. Okay. Okay, we have this array of random number, right? And also if I want to create an array of the iteration numbers, so for that also you can do the same process. Show front panel, you can just Control C, Control V. Okay, and this would be like array of iteration numbers or I values iteration. Okay, oh, let's connect them here. So I'm just going to connect this here, connect this here. See, now by default, it's in the auto index tunnel. So what is the function of this auto index tunnel? It takes the values in each iteration and it will arrange it in the form of an array. That's the function of auto index tunnel. It will assign an index to the each value being generated in each iteration and creates an array. And that array we are going to display it using this array array icon. Okay, it's the same thing as here. Okay, let's run this program now. Okay, so let's just enlarge this. So you will see, so this is 0th iteration, you get this value. At first iteration, you get this, second this, third this, fourth, you get this particular value. Okay, now moving on, there's another mode. There are three modes. There's last value, there is auto indexing, and there's concatenating. Now concatenating mode is specific to only arrays. Okay, so we'll do another example with arrays. Now these were like scalar values. Now let's see how it goes with arrays. So I'm going to have like an array constant. Okay, and then when you're using array constant, then you will have a numeric constant also inside of us. And then can elongate this. Okay, I want to have like 4 elements. So I'm gonna have like 1, 2, you just have to double click and backspace and then enter values 4. Okay. Now I'm going to perform some operation on this array, that is going to multiply. Okay. Create constant. No, I don't want this one. Sorry. Numeric. There are 2 different types of, this is floating point and this is integer type. You can choose any one. And this is say 5. Okay. And again, we would want to have the output would be obviously an array. So I'm just going to Control C, Control V. I'm going to have another numeric indicator for this, right? So I'm going to change the label as last value. No, not last values of array. Okay, let's do this. Connecting here. And I'm just going to right click and choose the tunnel as last value. Okay, now I've set this to last. So in the last iteration, okay, it's going to just multiply. Okay, the better thing that we can do is just not multiply it with 5. Let's just multiply it with I, whatever is the I value. Okay. Now, when we choose last values, what I expect is in the last iteration, the value of I will be 4. Okay, so then it will multiply all the elements by 4. Multiply with 4, sorry. This is completely different example. So let's run this. Yes, see, it's multiplied with 4. That's why we are getting 4, 8, 12, 16. So this is how we use the last value here. Now let me show you how we can use the other one, that is the concatenate mode and the indexing mode when it comes to dealing with arrays. So let's copy this again. Control V. So we are going to use the concatenate modes. Connect this here and right click, select concatenating. This is the concatenating mode. So in concatenating mode, it will generate the output will be like a 1D array, okay? And whatever array is being generated, like in each iteration that is being like appended to it in along one dimension. So I'm going to run this code so you just like by seeing the output, you can understand what its function is. Since we have copy pasted initially, is this label moving? Okay, this is the concatenated. So initially it will show you the values of the same thing that you copy pasted, but it will change when once you run it. So now let's run this. Now you see how many values you're gonna get. Yeah. So the first 4 elements are from the first iteration. The second 4 elements will be from the second iteration. The third is from the third iteration. And these 4 are from the fourth iteration. And the last, the 4 elements are from the fifth iteration, like 4, 8, 12, 16, 4, 8, 12, 16, right? So this is how it's going to create a one-dimensional array, the concatenate option, when you choose in the tunnel modes. Now, there is another one that we are going to do is the auto indexing. Now, in the case with auto indexing, so let's create another array. C, Control V. Now this I'm labeling it as indexed array. Okay, I'm going to just connect it here. So this is to the multiplication. Now I have chosen, this is in the auto index tunnel mode, right? But I get an array, I get some error here. What is it now? You have connected 2 arrays of different dimensions. Now the dimension of the you have 2 or more array data types wired together, but the arrays have different number of dimensions. Show the context help window to see how many dimensions are required. The dimension is 2. The dimension of the indexed array is 1. Okay. So here what is happening is now in concatenate mode, it is arranging the array in a 1D format, but with the auto indexed mode, it's going to arrange it in the 2-dimensional format. That means each array will be placed in the different columns. Okay, not in the same column, in different columns. So it will be a 2-dimensional array, and the index, this particular thing, it's just like it's a 1-dimensional array. So let's go to the front panel. Okay, this indexed array, the way we add the other dimension is right. Okay, just click on, okay, Okay, right click and say add dimension. So you have two-dimensional array. Okay, now this is 1D. Now when you right click and select add dimension, it's 2D array. Now I think the error is gone. Look. Yeah, and see, it's like a double wire. So this means like a 2D array, and this is 1D array. And for scalar values, this is a very narrow line, and for 1D arrays, it's a little thick wire, and for 2D, you can see that it's a double wire. So that's good. Now let's run this. Okay, and you can just hover over this and you can see a symbol like this. Just see. So it's the same so as you can see here, it's the same elements. This is like from the first iteration. These values are from the elements in the row 2 corresponds to the iteration, the array generated in the second iteration. This is third iteration, fourth and fifth. So this is how it displays in the 2D format. And with concatenate arrays, you have like a one-dimensional array, and the last value will obviously show you just the last set of values. Yeah, 4, 8, 12, 16, this one, and here. So I hope this short video will help you understand the different tunnel modes, and good luck for your exams, guys. Thank you for listening.